Okay, I promised everyone a closer look at Ken's backpack, the first RC Jetpack, and so here are some close-ups. You can see how I've done this. Now, obviously on the top here we have our receiver, lovely, reliable, FreeSky 8-channel receiver. We have the two EDFs. Now these are HobbyKing fan units, just a combo. You get the fan and this humongous speed controller down here, 45 amps, but my goodness, it's big. Look at the size of the damn thing. It's massive. So that was a bit of a burden finding somewhere to put that. And now also we have some servos here. These are just little Corona digital, I think they're about 11 to 12 gram servos, metal gear, driving the vanes, which as you can see there, a bit of slop in there. I'm not too worried about that. Sorry about the aircraft noise. This is an airfield. On the back here I have a pad here, which is where the LiPo goes, a 2650 4-cell LiPo 40C. Just sticks on there with a bit of Velcro. Up here we have a gyro, good old HobbyKing HK401B gyro. I bought 4 of them and 3 of them actually work. That's amazing, isn't it? So there's the gyro, and this particular gyro is basically in series with one of the EDFs, only one of the EDFs, and that provides the roll stability. So if the system tips over a bit like this, then the downside gyro will either speed up or the high side gyro will slow down. Oh, sorry, the downside fan will speed up or the high side fan will slow down depending on which way it tips, because I only have the gyro in series with one speed controller. I have a S-Spec up here because there's no way I'm going to get enough power out of the EDF ESCs to power the thing. So it's just a separate 5 amp S-Spec which powers all the radio system. And if I turn it around, there's more stuff on this side. Here you can see a couple of more gyros. These operate to control the pitch and yaw. That's right, got to remember. Pitch and yaw. You notice that they're at 90 degrees to each other, but they're not. You'd expect normally to have one flat, which would do the yaw, and one vertical to do the pitch. But what I've done, and I think I'm rather clever here, is I have mixed up the tail vanes here to operate like a V-tail. So they work together for the purpose of elevator, which gives you your pitch, like this, backwards and forwards, gives you your pitch, and differentially to give you your yaw. Now, V-tail mix takes care of that, but how do we integrate the gyros? Well, by putting the gyros on this angle here at 45 degrees to the vertical, 90 degrees to each other, they actually work very well. They automatically provide the corrective input, and I'll show you that in a minute when I fire it all up. So there we go, that's basically it. There's not a lot to this jetpack. It's a really simple thing. I built it out of balsa wood because I'm old and balsa wood is what I'm familiar with. And also very quick to build out of balsa wood. The bits of ply around here, I'm going to strengthen the fan units up because if it crashes, if it has a hard landing, then probably break that little mounting tab off, as you can see on the other side. That little mounting tab would probably bust off. It's only plastic. So I'm going to put a proper shroud around here when I get ready to do the severe test flights. For the little first hops, I won't bother. I'll also have to sort out these antenna wires because they'll get sucked in the fan probably. That won't be very impressive, will it? But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to plug it in and show you how the control system works from the transmitter. Right, I've got a good old 2650 40C zippy 4-cell LiPo, and that just goes on the back here. I'll have to put the camera down to do this. I only have one pair of hands, unfortunately. So I'll just put the LiPo in position, like so. You notice I don't have an undercarriage on this yet. I'm going to put some training gear so it doesn't tip over because it's only got a very narrow base at the moment. So it would be silly, but foolish to try and fly it as it is. But this is a bit of a, with all the wires in the way, it can be a bit of an issue. There we go. So there is our LiPo in position. It's all designed so the centre of gravity should be right on the centre of the spindles. A bit of work to do there because it's not quite in that position yet. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to plug in the S-Spec that powers up the radio gear. I'm not going to plug in the ESCs. I don't want the fans going just yet because I'm going to show you how the servos and gyros and everything work. Just plug that in, give the gyros a moment to initialise, and these HobbyKing gyros are a bit jittery. Look at it. I'm not really impressed with that actually. They're just sort of shaking around. I've got the gain not up too high and they're still shaking all over the place. So I thought they were supposed to be pretty good, but maybe they're not. Maybe they're not. I've played with the delay and everything and switched to digital. That sort of stuff doesn't make much difference really. But now I'll show you how they work. If I notice when I put some yaw in, the vanes apply opposite yaw correction, and if I do pitch. Notice the pitch. Again, the vanes are providing correction, so that should stop our little jetpack from tumbling over too quickly. And if I had the motors going, you'd see that when I roll it, we end up with differential thrust on the motors to compensate for the roll. So it's pretty much all ready to go, apart from I have to put a wide base undercarriage on here so that it's not going to tip over, because at the moment, as you'll see if I pick it up, it's only that little narrow base. It's way too narrow for stable landing. So that's what I'm going to do next, and then we'll bolt Ken on the front. We'll give it a bash, but basically there is the guts of the RC Jetpack. Not a lot to it really. All the stuff came from HobbyKing, because whether you like them or not, they do have probably amongst the cheapest prices, but you can get your stuff elsewhere. I'll be doing a full set of plans, so telling you basically the dimensions and how to wire it up, but there's nothing special, there's no special mixes, there's no special electronics, it's all just off-the-shelf stuff, the gyros, receiver, servos, all that sort of stuff, off-the-shelf stuff. I've had to do a little bit of mixing with my transmitter here. I've got the old JR9X, which is like a 9303 for you people in America. I've had to do a bit of mixing. I've used the V-tail mix, and I've also used the two servo cyclic mix to do my roll control. But apart from that, it's all pretty basic stuff. I've used 7 of the 8 channels on the Free Sky system, so there's still a spare channel even. And I've used 6, I can't remember. I think I might have used 6, yes, I've used 6 channels of the system. So if you've got a 6-channel radio, you could still do this. And as I say, what I'll do now is I'll build a little undercarriage so he won't tip over too much, and we'll give it a go. No, Ken. No, you have to be on the jetpack. You cannot fly. I hold the transmitter, Ken. No, stop it, Ken. Look. Settle. You can't fly it, alright? You're just going to go for a ride. Stop playing with the controls. Hurriedly, I'll just show you how it all works when you plug in the noisy bit, the fan. So first of all, I'll plug in the battery, get the gyros up to speed. Go. Woohoo, she's wiggling now. And now I will plug in the EDFs. There we go, there's the noise. And I'll... Whoa, a bit of power there, right? I'll just get a little stuff before it gets blown off the table. And I'll give it a rev, and you'll... Yeah. Now you can see that was pretty damn stable. It's got lots of power, eh? Heaps of power. And when I roll it, the fan, you can hear one of the fans speeding up and slowing down, and you can see the little vanes moving in response to the effect if I'm trying to do my pitch and roll or whatever. That's about hovering power now. So I'm really quite excited about this. This is quite a fun project. So now what I'm going to do is put the undercarriage on, bolt Ken on the front and fly the damn thing. Subscribe now, don't miss it. Ken, don't be a dick. Stop pissing around, Ken.